So all the remaining movies that have come out, no, we'll be excluding any of the movies that have already come out, of course, because those movies will be excluded from this list. We'll be going over movies that are still going to come out in theaters that I'm going to say are going to not do well at the box office. I was going to initially, say Soul was going to be a flop, but Disney apparently, there's no other movies coming out around that time, so Soul will probably not be a flop. Considering it was going to be one of the first movies to put out during the theaters could reopen, I don't think Soul is going to flop. The next movie I think is going to flop is Mulan. Well, guess what Mulan has to deal with now? It has to deal with Christopher Nolan's Tenet, and of course, that movie is it's gonna be its main competition. And of course, Tenet looks far more interesting than Mulan. Okay, Tenet is it's a movie by Christopher Nolan, and I think Christopher Nolan is the only name that can really sell movies anymore. Okay, because his name is essentially the movie's gonna be good if his name is plastered on the cover. And the next movie is the SpongeBob the Sponge on the Run. Mulan has to deal with both of those movies on both sides. The Purge won't really be much of a competition. We can forget that movie. That movie will probably still do well, considering there's no other movies coming out before then. So yeah, The Purge will probably be safe. The next movie that will probably flop is Bill and Ted Face the Music. Yes, it's another one of those movies that is basically slam-plastered between two movies. Wonder Woman 1984 and The Hitman's Wife Bodyguard, which that one is really that dangerous. But yeah, it has to deal with Wonder Woman. And I don't think Bill and Ted is going to be able to deal with Wonder Woman, especially considering that all the stuff going on, and all these movies are now basically competing with each other. The next movie is Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter has to deal with The Quiet Place Part 2, which was delayed because the theaters were all closed. And yeah, The Quiet Place Part 2 will probably defeat Monster Hunter in the theaters. And the next movie will probably flop is The Conjuring movie that's coming out. I don't know, it's basically going to be, this is the problem of this year. There's so many horror movies coming out. I just don't understand why, okay? There's other genres other than horror, but yeah. But again, both of these movies are not supposed to be right next to each other. And I think due to that, one of them is going to be a flop. And I think Kids Quiet Place Part 2 is coming first. That movie is going to be safe. And the problem is, in a few more weeks later, Candyman is coming out, which is made by Jordan Peele. I think due to the lackluster reception of Us, I know the critics love the movie because it's woke and all, but yeah, Candyman will probably make back its money. The next movie that will probably flop as a whole will probably be in November, and it's going to be one of the big movies. There's Black Widow, there's Godzilla vs. King Kong, there's also Deep Water coming out, and No Time to Die, and Raya and the Lost Dragon. But Quiver the Big Red Dog, that's an easy one. That's going to flop. And the last movie I think is going to flop is going to be Raya and the Lost Dragon. It's just going to be that movie. I think there's no chance this movie is going to do well, considering it has to deal with Godzilla, Black Widow, and No Time to Die. It has to deal with James Bond. I know little kids are going to say, oh my god, has Disney's logo. It'll probably make money from Disney's logo, but I just don't think it's going to do well. Godzilla vs. Kong at the end of the MonsterVerse, I think it's going to do around the same, or if not better than Godzilla vs. Godzilla King of the Monsters, since it's the end of the MonsterVerse. No Time to Die is it's going to be the last James Bond of that Bond series, so that's going to do well. And Black Widow is going to be the last good Marvel movie. Yeah, I'm saying that because what's coming next, like Captain Marvel 2. Yeah, no. And then of course, it's the end of the month. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of movies coming out at the end of the year. There is Dune, West Side Story, Coming to America, Top Gun Maverick, Tom and Jerry, The Croods 2, The Last Duel, and Escape Room 2. Well, I can always say that no, Dune is really Dune I can see doing well considering it's a sci-fi movie. West Side Story, Western movies have really don't do well at the box office anymore. If it's a Western movie, it is made by Steven Spielberg, but I don't really see his name really selling like Christopher Nolan does anymore, okay? Steven Spielberg, I don't really think really is a name seller like Christopher Nolan is with Tenet. And yeah, the next movie I think is going to flop is Tom and Jerry or The Croods 2. It could go either way. Tom and Jerry. The problem with Tom and Jerry nowadays is Tom and Jerry is not what it used to be. It used to be very, very violent. They used to show stuff that you can't show on TV now, and it was just really, really funny. But now Tom and Jerry is a safe stuff but it still probably will have Tom and Jerry fighting, the good old stuff from my childhood. So I think that the Croods 2, because nobody knows who the fuck the Croods are. So the Croods 2 is not gonna do as well as Tom and Jerry, because I think Tom and Jerry means more to people than the Croods. Okay, Tom and Jerry has been a classic, long-running TV series since the 40s, and the Croods has only had one movie. You may say I'm wrong here, and the Croods will come out on top, but animated sequels always tend to do worse, with very, very few exceptions, mainly being Pixar movies. And even How to Train a Dragon had a decline from entry to entry. And I don't see the Croods 2 making the same amount of money as the Croods 1. Unless they manage to make it a Christmas movie, unless the Croods 2 manage to make it a Christmas movie somehow, I think that Tom and Jerry is probably going to win. And let's not forget that Top Gun Maverick will probably make back its money. I think that's going to be, and Dune. I think both of these movies, are the most promising movies, especially Dune. It's a sci-fi movie, and of course, people love sci-fi movies. And yeah, I think that, Coming to America, Dune, and Top Gun Maverick, and Tom and Jerry are going to be the winners, and West Side Story and The Croods 2. And let's not forget Escape Room 2 is probably going to flop, because the first movie is already bad enough. And they're basically rushing out a sequel to get that money in, essentially, unless the movie, and it'll probably have like $10 million budget and make back its money for some reason. But yeah, that's basically it. Goodbye.